Hello children, today we're going to take a look at elemental kanjis again. You're probably wondering, why is there a sequel? I thought we're all done with this subject. And yeah, we technically are. But on the other hand, there are still some forbidden elements to this subject matter. I'm talking about unused kanji. Kanji that are too advanced to be used for, well, any purpose basically. Why does it exist? Well, in this case, the answer is that the Chinese invented it for their own writing system. Why isn't it used? Well, there's many answers to that, but most people would agree that no one's familiar with it, so why would I go out of my way to write it? Now that we got that out of the way, let's learn some kanji you will never use about a subject you probably won't use either. Before I start, here's a large disclaimer. What I'm going to be teaching is essentially Chinese. We never and will probably never use these. It just so happens that it could be mildly comprehensible in Japanese, only by experts. Okay? Now that we got that out of the way, let's get started. Helium is written like this. Notice how this kanji mildly looks like the Japanese kanji for air. That's because this shape is a general way to represent gases in Chinese, and in the same vein, Japanese as well. Here are the 4 radicals you need to know for today. Try to guess each of their purposes. Lithium is written like this. So a recurring pattern you're going to see for the next 100 kanji is that all of them are inspired by the Western name for the element. The first syllable is matched with a kanji with a similar sound and then attached to one of 4 radicals to represent the state of the element. Lithium starts with the syllable li. The Chinese saw this and chose this kanji because it makes the sound ri, and this radical because it's a metal. Beryllium is written like this. This is the kanji for skin, pronounced pi. Also in Chinese, beryllium is pronounced pi. See how it works? Neon is written like this, or like this. In Chinese, neon is nai, and this kanji is read as nai. Bing bang boom, I think you get it now. Oh, and one more thing, it's not neon in Japanese, it's neon. Sodium is written like this. Fun fact, in Japanese, sodium isn't sodium, it's natrium. The same reason why the symbol of sodium is Na. It derives from the Latin word natrum, aka soda. Interesting, right? Anyways, nai. Next one. Magnesium is written like this. This is the kanji for beauty, by the way. You can see the resemblance, right? Anyways, in Chinese, it's pronounced mei, and also this is mei. Aluminum, the best metal, is written like this. It's pronounced lu, so they chose the kanji that makes the same sound. Argon is written like this. It's a gas, so it uses this radical. I didn't know that until I saw this kanji. See how effective kanji can be at times? Potassium is written like this. In Japanese, this element is pronounced kalium. Same reason why the potassium is K. The name derives from the Arabic word for plant ash, kali. The Germans picked it up, called it kalium, and then spread it to us. Side note, for those wondering, the word potassium derives from the word pot. It's because they used to put ash in a pot to get some potassium. Calcium is written like this. This radical doesn't exist in Japanese, but it kind of looks similar to this kanji, meaning righteous or correct. Like how it's common sense to drink a glass of milk every day. Scandium is written like this. You know the drill. This is Kang, and now this is Kang. I'm pretty sure it's called Kang in Chinese because there's no sk sound, so they just dropped the S altogether. Titanium is written like this. This one actually makes sense to anyone blindly reading it. They're both pronounced Thai, like titanium. Vanadium is written like this. Fan. Next, chromium is written like this. In Japanese, the element is just called kurome. I'm a Firefox Maxer myself. Cobalt is written like this. I think I've seen it like once in Japanese, but it's too rare for it to be commercially used. Nickel is written like this. This kanji does not exist in Japanese. Apparently it means provincial judge in Chinese. It makes it sound nye, and so does this. Gallium is written like this. At this point, you're probably surprised that forbidden kanji don't look so different from regular kanji. From a Japanese perspective, forbidden kanji doesn't necessarily mean hard to write. More rather, nobody taught me this, therefore it is forbidden. 100 elements to go. Germanium is written like this. Ze. I'm sorry if my commentary isn't that interesting. As it turns out, combining 2 school topics into one doesn't make it any more interesting. Selenium is written like this. Oh cool, something different. So selenium, or in Japanese, just sitting, in its natural form is rock. So the Chinese chose this radical that means rock, instead of this radical that would mean metal. Krypton is written like this. I'll give you 5 seconds. Guess what state of matter it is naturally. Yes, it is a gas, which I didn't know because DC Comics taught me it's a crystal that could turn Superman gay. Rubidium is written like this. So in Japanese, we can make the sound D, but we just resort to using this anyway because of old habits and all. So yeah, rubidium. Strontium is written like this. Shi. Yttrium is written like this. Yi. This is the word that gave me the hardest time, fun fact. In Japanese, it's just itorium, way easier for an element that's more or less meaningless to me. Zirconium is written like this. It's called gao in Chinese. Why? You're asking the wrong guy. I know I got at least 2 Chinese viewers, maybe you should ask them. Niobium is written like this. Ni. You could tell a German gave us this word because it's just niobu in Japanese. Molybdenum is written like this. What the hell is this word? This is the final boss for all English learners. That's why it's just moribuden in Japanese. Oh yeah, also mu. Technidium is either like this or like this, depending on simplified or traditional. Now's a good time to tell you what this radical is. So you see how in Google Translate there are 2 options for Chinese? Between them are small differences in shape and stroke. In traditional form, radicals look like this, pretty much like Japanese. I feel safe seeing these. But in simplified Chinese, radicals and most kanjis are slightly, stripped to its bare essentials. Why? Well, according to Wikipedia, it was done to promote literacy, which I guess is important, but these kanjis are giving me uncanny valley vibes. It's so unsettling. Anyways, for today, I'll mostly focus on traditional form. Ruthenium is written like this. We don't have th sounds in Japanese, so pronounce it ruthenium. Rhodium is written like this. Lao. Really, what is there to talk about rhodium? Palladium, though, is a little interesting. It's paragium in Japanese, but in Chinese it's ba. So what happened? My research is futile because I can't read Chinese. Now, I'm a dumb, stupid teenager, but I have a theory about why palladium is called ba. Hear me out. In Arabic, the letter P does not exist. Their way of pronouncing P in loanwords is to replace it with B. Pink Floyd, Palestine, and palladium, it's apparently al-baladium. My thinking is that this element specifically was borrowed from Arabic to China through trade and eventually caught on. Cadmium is written like this. Okay, in Japanese, I at the very least recognize this part as this part in kankaku. So I thought that shared syllable would be the missing puzzle piece, but in traditional Chinese, it's called li. And in simplified Chinese, it's gay. So if anybody can explain this one, I'll pin it. Indium is written like this. Ying. This one makes sense because this kanji does make the sound ing, like in the Japanese word gang. Here's where worlds collide. You see, I thought the origins of this word, indium, comes from the name India. So I thought, well, why didn't they go with this? Turns out indium originated from the word indicium, aka indigo. Cool, right? Antimony is written like this. This kanji in Chinese is read as T. The origins could either have A come from the second syllable in antimony, or most likely B come from the first syllable in stibium, the original name for this element. The same reason why the chemical symbol is SB, by the way. Pretty cool, right? Tellurium is written like this. In Japanese, there's an extra r in tellurium, so it's teruru. Don't forget. And also, because it's apparently not totally a metal, it uses this radical because it's like 60% rock. Xenon is written like this. Not a single Japanese person knows how to pronounce this, so we just resort to calling it kisenon. Cesium, se, barium, bei, hafnium, ha, except in traditional, which is jia. Tantalum, tang. Honestly, what is there to talk about them? Tungsten is written like this. Woo. The same reason why its chemical symbol is W. It's the first syllable in wolfram. Rhenium is written like this. Lie. Doesn't sound similar, but I got a theory about its origin. The element rhenium was named after the Rhine, a major river in Germany. You know, from your history class. Anyways, if this were the case, it would be the only explanation to why it uses the kanji rai. Osmium, depending on the dialect, is either tie or e. Why? Because I made it. Real answer? I don't know. I'm certain that they use this kanji because they sound similar, but I have zero clue why it's called tie now. At least iridium makes sense. Yi. Platinum is written like this. Remember in the first chemistry video, platinum was made up of these 2 kanjis, white and gold? Well, this kanji combines them for convenience, I guess. Any questions? No? Moving on. Thallium is written like this. Ta, but this version is read as she. Bismuth, BB. Recognize this from somewhere? Polonium is written like this. Po. I'll get back to this element. Astatine is written like this or like this. If a Japanese person were to use this kanji, not that we would probably use this one because the simplified version isn't readable to the average guy. Radon is written like this. The Chinese probably use this kanji because of the second syllable in radon. Yes, this toxic gas is called dong. which also implies the Chinese word for winter is also dong. Francium is written like this. In Chinese, France is called faguo, which I don't agree with, okay? Anyways, they spelled it like this, attaching this kanji to the radical for metal. Isn't that cool? I looked it up for polonium as well, but I guess it only applies to a few countries. Radium is written like this, lei. This one makes twice as sense as other elements because this is the kanji for lightning, and they're both associated with electricity and death. Okay, now we're at a point where not even the Chinese are familiar with these kanjis. What you're going to see from this point on are kanjis so forbidden only the top 1% of experts would recognize. Rutherfordium. Damn, this shit looks hard both in English and in kanji. Dubnium in kanji looks like this. Fun fact, back when this element used to be called harnium, it looks like this. Seaborgium is written like this. She. Borium is written like this, kind of similar to beryllium, except there's a sanzui between these two radicals. Bobo. Hassium is written like this. Now I recognize this kanji means black because we also use it, except that in Japanese, our blacks look like this. Maybe in the future when we adopt this kanji it will evolve accordingly, but who knows. Meternurium is written like this. My. I vaguely recognize this kanji because it appears in this part of the word tempura, and then I realized it's an alternate way of writing mugi. How have I never noticed? Darmstadtium is either like this or like this. Da for damn, this shit's getting convoluted. Roentgenium is written like this. Apparently it also means key and rabbit trap. I seriously hope it's not made out of rentgenium, or else it will literally be the most painful death in history. Copernicium is written like this. While I was researching this topic, I found a website dedicated to turning each element into an anime character. I just wanted to share because the idea is just so stereotypically Japanese. No other country would do this. Nihonium is written like this. Ni. It's named after Japan if you're wondering. If you're also wondering why Japan is called Nihon, you should watch the original element video for an explanation near the end. Flerovium. Fu. This is a kanji for husband, by the way. Moscovium. Mo. This is how you spell Moscow in Chinese. And this is how you spell Moscow in Japanese. Livermorium. No, that's not how you spell Livermore, but a good guess. This is Tennessine. It's a rock? Who figured that out? Oh yeah, also this kanji is really young. This and oganessen are currently as old as the naming of these elements, around 10 years old or so. As far as I know, this is the newest kanji. Alright, final stretch, let's get the spread. Rapid fire in Japanese. Dantan, cerium, praseogium, neogium, prometium, samarium, europium, gadolinium, terbium, gisprosium, hormium, erbium, cerium, ytterbium, lutetium, actinium, thorium, protoactinium, uran, neptunium, plutonium, americium, curium, berkelium, californium, einsteinium, fermium, mendelevium, nobelium, and finally, laurentium is written like this. In regular literature, this kanji would normally be written like this, and while I was researching this element, I found out in Mandarin it's written like this. Behold, the trifecta of hard work. Fitting that it's the last element only because I went from top to bottom. Anyways, that's basically it. That was by far the longest script I've ever read. I could have probably split this into 2 videos, but whatever. I hope you guys learned something other than whatever that was. Hopefully it will gain some uses in Japanese soon. I've seen a couple of these on game shows, maybe they'll be on textbooks one day, who knows. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you. It's a god-awful small affair to the girl with the mousy hair, but her mommy is yelling no, and her daddy has told her to go. But her friend is nowhere to be seen as she walks through her sunken dream to the seats with the clearest view, and she's hooked to the silver screen. But the film is a saddening bore, 'cause she lifted 10 times or more. She could spit in the eyes of fools as they ask her to focus on